Hello everyone, now it is time to showcase week 2 of the PAC League in the Sword and Shield side of things. But yeah, so my opponent for this match is actually going to be King Soza once again. How do you like them apples? This guy turned out to actually be in the Sword and Shield branch of the PAC League as well, which is kind of funny now that I think about it. Well, not really actually, because I'll be honest with you, after losing the way I did to King Soza last week, or yeah, actually last week because it was basically the first week. I kind of didn't want to play him again, but here we are. So obviously, I cannot escape this man's wrath. And honestly, looking at his team is actually pretty scary. Actually, just because he has a Heatran, a freaking Urshifu, and he also has a brand new mon in Spectrator, which I'll be honest with you, given that I'm not very familiar with the meta in Sword and Shield, still, I actually didn't know what to expect from this thing. I know this thing's special attack is actually pretty high, and also has an ability that actually functions pretty much as an equivalent to Moxie, but in the special attacking side of things. And with the potent special attack set that it has, I can see that being something of a threat, honestly. So I kind of have to put myself in a position where I'm not like too crippled for that thing to late game sweep, because that's basically what it can do. Its speed is also pretty high. In fact, I think it's also faster than Weavile. I could be wrong on that, but it's definitely fast. So yeah, so anyways, he's going to lead off with the Heatran, obviously, and obviously I'm just going to Volt Switch out of there because I led with Raikou. I think his team doesn't, well, aside from the Zygarde, he doesn't really have much immunities to electricity, and I kind of didn't count on him switching in the what's it called, the Zygarde right away, especially because I could try to predict him, So here I was thinking of what I wanted to send in. I was considering Blaziken, but fearing the Earth power from Heatran, I just decided to go into Goodra instead. I do believe I have Surf on this Goodra just so I can do some damage to the Heatran. He goes for the Magma Storm so that I don't switch out whatever I try to send in. But I'm perfectly fine with Goodra staying in on Heatran because I do have coverage for it. So that's not a big deal. Now here, I believe, yeah, I'm just going to go for the Surf, I think. I could be wrong. Maybe I overpredict like I did in the last week, honestly, because that's honestly a possibility. Let's see. I'm thinking. I think even I was like wondering, I cannot mess this up this time, because if I do, then I literally don't know what the hell am I doing. But yeah, okay, I do go for the Surf, thankfully. Because I was about to say, if I make another stupid play like I did in that other in the other league, that's just pathetic at that point. Okay, but he's gonna go into Snorlax predicting this Surf, so that's kind of annoying. I was kind of hoping he'd stay in to at least take one hit, but nah, he ain't that silly. Okay, so I'm gonna Hard Switch and Blaziken right away, because what I anticipate this thing to do is either set up a Belly Drum or set up a Curse, and I don't want either of those things, because if he gets any of those, there's very little that the rest of my team can do, so I have to go in and just attack this thing. He does go for Ice Beam, which I'll be honest with you, I was not expecting, honestly, because who on earth runs Ice Beam on Snorlax, honestly? Isn't its special attack stat like shit or something? I don't know. But either way, he had it, so yeah. Here I go for Protect. Oh, yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention that we're doing land mode, obviously, in this league, so obviously there was actually a connection issue that we had during the land mode process, and at this point here, or actually it was here when I went for the close combat, but I went for Protect here because this close combat was supposed to allow Snorlax to live, because last time I didn't go for Protect and I went for close combat and it did live, so when we tried to redo this portion of the match, it didn't survive, so he got lucky on a roll basically. So upon reconstructing this, I had to go for Protect to guarantee that he actually survives this close combat as it did the last time, doing the right thing, reconstructing the match accordingly, because that way I rightfully lose this Blaziken, because he did survive, did go for the Earthquake, and I did lose Blaziken here, obviously due to the -1 Spadef, or Fizdef as well, both, so here obviously now I'm just thinking about what I want to send out, because I'm actually in a very tight situation now that I lost Blaziken. I am at red, but I also just want to make sure that he doesn't just bring in that Spectrator, honestly. So I'm just trying to be very, very careful of what I want to send in. Because one false move and that Spectre could sweep right away, you know. I'm going to send out Raikou again. And I think here I might actually try to go for the Volt Switch. I might. Because I don't want to, like, I think the reason I go for Volt Switch is because I don't want to send in the, or I don't want the Zygarde to come in. Yeah, I go for Volt Switch. This was, I think at the time this was kind of, this felt risky because I felt like this Snorlax, given how bulky it is on the Spadef side and the HP, that it was probably going to survive the Volt Switch, but thankfully I made the right call here, because the thing is that I didn't want him to send in the Zygarde for free and then Dragon Dance, you know. But here now I have to show him what I sent in, which is the downside. I think I sent in Goodra actually, because I don't think I'm in condition to send in Weavile when the Urshifu is still there. Okay, but nonetheless I decided to send in Runerigus for some reason. Maybe I didn't want to take too much damage on Goodra. Well, actually, Goodra would have been a fine switch here, actually. Because, why didn't I go Goodra here? Was it because I was fearing the Choice Banded Urshifu going close combat and taking out my Goodra that way? And maybe wanting to take special attacks very well. So maybe I didn't want it to take any damage. Okay, so he sends out this Rotom. So that is kind of bad. But obviously he had the switch advantage no matter what because I went for the Volt Switch, so he was going to get whatever matchup he wanted, honestly. Okay, so here I decided to send in Weavile, like intensely predicting the Blizzard, I was going to say. Yeah, because I was just anticipating that Blizzard, so instead he just goes for the Trick, which I couldn't tell you that this is a bad thing. At least after I realized what the items were, because if this thing had a lagging tail, that would have been pretty obnoxious actually. But instead he just had a Choice Scarf, so him giving Weavile a Scarf is not actually bad, especially considering that the Spectre is kind of, I think that thing is faster than Weavile, so this could help me actually. He does go for Volt Switch, honestly. I knock off the Expert Belt, so even if something is super effective on my team, it's not going to do a lot of damage. And in fact, Blizzard covers the majority of my team, so that Expert Belt is thankfully knocked off in that scenario. So here he's going to now send in the Urshifu, and I do have the Choice Scarf, but I don't think I want to lose it just yet, the Weavile. So I hard switch in the Tangrowth here. It's one of the only things that can take physical hits from this Urshifu, and even then, depending on the set, it might actually still be able to 2-hit KO. It does have U-turn, and seeing the damage that it's getting from the U-turn doesn't seem to suggest that it's Choice Banded at all, because I think if it was Choice Banded, it might have actually done a little bit more, but I don't know. That was just what I had in mind at the time. But here on this U-turn, I believe he sends out the Heatran afterwards, to which I definitely don't want to stay in, obviously. But I'm not sure what he sends in here. It could be the Spectre, honestly. Because like I said before, the Spectre actually has very good special attack stats. So if he knows he can take out this Tangrowth, he could go for it. He does go for the Heatran though, so that's fine. I do have a switch into this, and it's the Goodra. Because Goodra is the only thing that can kind of take hits from Heatran right now. Runerigus will not appreciate a Magma Storm. I think him anticipating my switch into Goodra though, I think allows him to this time actually set up the Stealth Rocks. Yeah, he does go for the rocks right here. So once again, I am in a tight situation here obviously, because now anything that comes in is going to take rocks damage. So here what I'm going to go for is, I think the Surf, just to get some form of damage. I think whatever he switches in is not going to appreciate it anyways. Either, oh, okay, I go for Thunderbolt. Okay, so I went for Thunderbolt, I guess because he saw the Surf the last time, so I guess I was fearing that he'd anticipate my Surf attempt and go into Urshifu, and then retaliate with a close combat, and I didn't want that, obviously. So, yeah, that was probably what I was anticipating. I believe here, after I go for this Thunderbolt, he's going to go for the Magma Storm. This does okay damage for a neutral hit. The Magma Storm does miss, so that's kind of good because now it doesn't take too much damage. Like, I don't take unnecessary damage. Here, this is a pretty rough spot. I think here he might let his Heatran go down. No, not yet. Okay, I think he sends out then Okay, he sends out the Rotom. Because he sees that I went for Thunderbolt. Okay, that makes sense. He anticipated me to go for another Thunderbolt. Not expecting him to switch into the... Or not expecting him... Or expecting him not to switch in the Urshifu, I guess. Yet. So here, once again, I send out Weavile because it's the only thing that I can actually take a Blizzard. Because everything else doesn't appreciate Blizzard, honestly. Not even Raikou. And I kind of want Raikou to be as healthy as possible because it might be what I need to take out the Spectrier. Because the Spectrier right now is what's really threatening my team. I have Weavile scarfed, but if I lose this under any circumstance, I could very well be in an even worse situation. So here, nonetheless, I decided to hard switch in the Weavile. I know I'm going to take rocks damage here, so I can only hope that he doesn't go for the Volt Switch. So that way I can take out this Rotom at the very least. But it's going to just come down to whether or not I actually get the call right. Thankfully, I do predict the Blizzard, and he does miss, thankfully. So that's actually incredibly good for me. In fact, him missing that might have been huge, actually. But here, I'm just going to knock off this Rotom because I don't want this Rotom to be an issue right now. Because, yeah, that thing was threatening a lot of my team, honestly. Blizzard, if it hits every time, it's going to be annoying as sin. Okay, so here, I believe he sends in the Urshifu because he definitely doesn't want to send in Spectrier because it's my Weavile Scarf now, so it definitely takes out the Spectrier if it doesn't have the Colbert Berry. So here, I think here I ultimately decide to go for the knockoff just because I think if I switch out this Weavile, it might take an attack. Like, I might not be able to send in this Weavile safely again, is basically what I'm trying to say. And I feel like everything that I have in my team right now, I might need it. I don't want to lose Goodra just yet. Although, now that I think about it, maybe it would have been the ideal play. Yeah, because I still had Tangrowth. This might have been a bad play, honestly, sending in Weavile after... Or just, yeah, sending in Weavile. Oh, no, wait, but I had to send in Weavile. No, it's because... Yeah, no, never mind. Sending in Weavile on the Rotom to go for the knockoff was fine. Staying in with this Weavile was probably what was bad. But I think the reason I might have actually stayed in was because I wanted to knock off whatever this Urshifu had, because I didn't want to risk this thing being choice banded. Or anything like, you know, like Scarfed maybe. But I think now that I think about it, maybe that was still a bad idea. Because, if he sent out Urshifu, I could have just sent in Tangrowth to take a hit. Maybe I was anticipating him to U-turn, then go into Spectrier, and then go for Shadow Ball, possibly boosted by his Choice Specs. Because that Spectrier could be Choice Specs, honestly. Given that it's already fast as it is. It may not even need a Scarf, honestly. Not really sure, though. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna send in Tangrowth now, though. And now I'm just gonna go for, I believe, the Giga Drain? He goes for U-turn. Oh no, actually, I don't think I go for the Giga Drain here. I go for the Leech Seed. Because I believe he still has that Heat Ran, and I think he's gonna go back into it right now. I could be wrong. But I think that's what he goes into. Yeah, he goes into Heat Ran. Okay, yeah. I believe I go for the Leech Seed here. And then after this, I think I just switch into Goodra once again. Because I still have Goodra, by the way. Goodra's still around. I'm going to get some recovery. And on switching here, I'm going to be at full HP again. Thanks to the regenerator, of course. So here I'm going to go, okay, yeah, Goodra, of course. Gonna take rocks damage though, so that's kind of bad. Okay, he's gonna switch it out. And he's gonna go into Spectrier, okay. So he doesn't stay in with the Leech Seed. But I'm still gonna actually get to switch out and get the regenerator at least. This Goodra though, is gonna take rocks damage. And I'm only hoping here that I can at least take 2 Shadow Balls at the very least. Because I do have a Citrus Berry on this Goodra, so I'm hoping that it goes for the Shadow Ball most likely. I get the the Dragon Pulse off, and I'm just hoping it's a 2-hit KO. Because if not, I may lose here, actually. So, he's going to go for the Shadow Ball. And looking at this, it does like 78 damage. So, with the Citrus Berry, I should be at 75. So, unfortunately, it does look like I may actually not be able to take another one. And this is not even a 2-hit KO from the looks of it. And if it is, it might have been based on a roll. So, not good for me already. In fact, I'm just looking at my team right now and seeing what I can do. And unfortunately, there is not much I can do. I'll just have to accept my fate, basically, in possibly losing this Goodra. However, or should I say fortunate? I was going to say unfortunately. Maybe unfortunately for him, but fortunately for me, for some odd reason, he decides to switch out and go back into Heatran. I don't know if he was just flexing on me or something, but this play may have costed him. May have. Because honestly, here, this basically opens up the doors for me to do literally anything. Which is why right here I'm trying to think, now that he switched out, which was the best thing that could have happened for me at least, I was thinking of how can I capitalize on this. I need to make sure that my plays are on point, because if I make one more screw up, then that's the whole game most likely. But here, like, the door's basically opened. I have a chance to win this still. Even if probably he may have choked it, but like here, I have to, you know what they say, I take those every single time. But anyways, okay, so here I switch in the Raikou, which again, I'm not even sure if that was even a good idea. I could have just gone for Surf again, no? Even if he send in the Urshifu, I think staying in, just going for the Surf would have been fine, honestly. Either way, I go for the Volt Switch here. Yeah, I believe it's the Volt Switch I go for here. I think the reason I went for Volt Switch was because I didn't want to actually, like, I guess I just wanted to either take out this Heatran and maybe send in a different Mon. Maybe Goodra to sack it or something. I don't know. I don't know why I went for Volt Switch here. But he, for some reason, Hard Switch is in the Zygarde now, which was something that I was kind of wondering would he ever do, but I didn't really count on him doing it, honestly. But nonetheless, I decided to stay in and just go for the R-Sphere, because I feel like if this thing sets up a Dragon Dance, or just takes me out with the 1,000 arrows, I would have just been able to send in the Runerigus and set up a Trick Room and possibly win there. He does go for the Hyper Voice, which is kind of odd for me though, because this means that this is possibly a special attacking Zygarde, and honestly, I don't really think the special attacking stat for Zygarde is even that good. So because of that, I decided to just stay in again, just to go for another move. I kept going for R-Sphere just to get damage, and seeing the damage that it did tells me that this could definitely put it in red, so that I can just finish it off with anything basically. And here what I'm going to do now is just send in the Runerigus, because this is basically what I wanted, the opportunity to set up the Trick Room here, because that was the only possible way I could win this, possibly. It was my only chance anyway. I may not have actually been able to win here, actually, now that I think about it. But here, he went for the Hyper Voice earlier, which procced the Throat Spray, which at the time I didn't even know what that did, but it raised his special attack. And after that, he went for the Core Enforcer, which is another move I haven't seen at all, actually, from Zygarde. So even that, I didn't know how much it was going to do, but it looked like it was going to probably do a lot more. And I was actually surprised at the amount that it actually ended up doing, which was not even half. Well, actually, it's more than half, but I thought it was going to take me either to red or even take me out entirely, but that didn't even turn out to be the case. So because of that, now I'm actually able to take it out with a Shadow Claw. I was going to say Dragon Claw, Shadow Claw, damn it. But yeah, we take out the Zygarde, which is good. But the threat is still not over, obviously, because the real threat here is that Spectrier. Who would have thought the Mon that I'm least familiar with was actually going to be the one giving me problems here? But yeah, he's going to send out Heatran for some reason. Actually, no, yeah, obviously to stall out the Trick Room, obviously. He doesn't want Spectrier to come out right now, given that the Trick Room is up, because otherwise I take it out with a Shadow Claw, especially thanks to the damage that I did with Goodra earlier. So obviously I'm going to go for the Shadow Claw again, on the off chance he decides to switch around, because he has been switching around quite a bit, actually. A lot more than I was expecting, honestly. At times he switched out, at times where I feel like the matchup was still ideal for him. I didn't feel like he needed to switch out, but he did. And if it helps me win this match, then by all means, go for it. Anyways, here he's going to send out the Urshifu. Here, I once again, I'm thinking about my place here because, again, one false step and I could just lose this match right now. Because right now I'm just being given the opportunity to win this, so I need to make sure I don't, like, waste this opportunity. I have a decent amount of Trick Room turns left. So, unfortunately, the only thing I can do here is go for the Earthquake and hope that he takes me out immediately so that my Tangrowth can come in and take advantage of what's left from the Trick Room turns. I go for the Earthquake. It does do a fair amount of damage. It's the least that I could have expected. He is going to take me out with a Surging Strikes. Because, yeah, 2-hit KO. This is a multi-hit move, by the way. He got a crit with this. I think that move always crits. I could be wrong, though. Not sure. Let me see. Yeah, I think that move always crits. It's a multi-hit move that always crits, I think. But anyways, he takes out my Runerigus. So I'm hoping that with this, I can actually probably win. Because if I lose this Tangrowth to the Spectrator, I lose for sure. Because by then, the Moxie equivalent thingamabob, I forgot what it was called. I think it was called Grimnay, I think it was what it was called. Yeah, the ability that will proc special attack boost if it takes out one of my mons. So obviously, this was the moment, basically. Here, I was trying to go for Giga Drain just to finish off this Urshifu, but for some odd reason, once again, he switches into the Spectrator, and I get damage on this. And it doesn't even take it out, so that's the crazier part of this whole thing. And the Trick Room is now gone, so honestly, I don't know why he switched this thing in, honestly. As soon as the Urshifu went down, the Trick Room would have been gone. He would have been able to go for the Shadow Ball, and then it would survive the Giga Drain, and then just take me out with another Shadow Ball, and then get the Grimnay. I don't know why he switched out, honestly, now that I think about it. I think this was like, he gave me one opportunity to make this match as close as possible, but this one pretty much just sealed the match for me. Like, holy damn. Like, I think here he choked, honestly. I think when he switched out that Urshifu, he choked. I guess he thought he could take me out here, honestly. Because, yeah, I am pretty low, actually, in HP. This does look like a possible win for him either way. He is going to go for the close combat, which I do survive at 4 HP. Maybe he thought he could just take me out with Urshifu. If this was a flex attempt, then holy damn, they Karma bite him in the rear end so damn hard. Yeah, because damn, I survived it, and because of that, I was able to win this match narrowly. Like, just narrowly, though. Because he pretty much had the match won when the Spectrator came in on the Goodra. All he needed to do was just go for the Shadow Ball again and finish me off. And then from there, he would have been off to the races. But instead, he just switched out, made the match a bit more complicated for him. And then when he still had the match won, possibly, on the Tangrowth, he switches out again, takes unnecessary damage, and then loses. Holy damn. For someone who was playing me pretty well in the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pro League, I was not expecting him to throw that way, honestly. Unless he was just being a gentleman and just wanted me to win. If so, that'd just be hilarious, honestly. Because God knows I take all sorts of wins, whether or not they give it to me, honestly. Which, if that was the case, well, thank you. But anyways, that's going to be week 2 of the PAC League. We won that, thankfully. Whether it was intentional or not, we won it. So, yeah. Now we gotta make sure that we keep on winning, obviously. And hopefully this time we earn our wins, question mark. Because here, yeah, we capitalized on this guy's mistakes. But we didn't exactly win this match convincingly. I think this man just, like, choked a couple times. If he wasn't giving me the win, he choked a couple times, and it ended up costing him dearly here. It costed him the win. He didn't even lose 1-0. He lost 2-0, which is kind of crazy, now that I think about it. But it is what it is. Anyways, with all that said, thank you for watching this match. Hope to catch you guys for the next match. And for now, just take it easy, and have yourselves a good one.